See, you know what? Because I heard the click stop and I thought you stopped.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. Alright, I know this one's been a long time coming, but I'm finally here with the last video in my series about my Charvel Pro-Mod San Dimas. Quick recap. I bought the guitar for my 31st birthday in July of 2020. Pretty quickly realized I was going to need to make some changes to make the guitar right for me. You can go check out the other videos to see what I liked and what I didn't like and why, but let's give you an overview of all the things that I've done. First and foremost, I fixed the high frets. Then I replaced the electronics and the switch. These are standard 500K pots. They are not push-pull or no-load tone control. The switch, while it looks like a three-way switch, is actually a six-way switch, and it allows me to split the coils on both pickups. I also replaced the stock Seymour Duncan JB and 59 with Planet Tone pickups. I actually originally had a set of my signature Planet Tone Statera pickups in this guitar, but I ended up deciding that this guitar needed something a little bit different than that. I also tried a set of legacy pickups that I have, and those are great too, but again, not what I was looking for in this guitar. I finally landed on a set of Poundcake pickups in a beautiful raw nickel cover with gold screws to match my hybrid trim hardware. Speaking of which, I replaced the original Floyd Rose 1000 series tremolo with this beautiful Sophia 292 tremolo. More on that in a bit. And finally, I put on a decal from the Jasmine Dragon, my favorite tea shop in Ba Sing Se. Now, before we get to the sound clips, let's talk about this Sophia tremolo. Not only does this trim unit fix my original tuning problem, which is the whole reason I wanted to change it in the first place, but it's actually way more stable as well. I know one of you dudes is about to be like, oh, but the 1000 series Floyds are just the same thing as the German-made Floyds, they're just as good. They're not, and I'll show you why. Sit still. All right, now here is the tremolo knife edge base plate. You see it right there? Now if I'll try to get it up close here where you can see it. Right here in these spots, hopefully you can see, the finish, the plating, is chipping off of the base. So maybe the material that the Floyd is made of, the base plate is made of, is the same, but the plating is not the same. So you can see it here. And when this stuff starts coming off like that and chips, then you get friction at the knife edge, and then this tremolo will not return to the 0 point, aka it will not stay in tune. So I mentioned that this tremolo is more stable than a regular Floyd Rose tremolo, or at least a regular floating Floyd Rose tremolo. So let me show you why. So with this trim unit, when you push down on the bar, when you dive the pitch, the springs stretch just like they usually would, and then they pull the tremolo and the strings back into tune. However, if we get in real close here, I get my camera to zoom, you should be able to see back in here, way back in there, there's a couple of springs that push the other way against the cavity on the inside of the guitar. So when I pull up on the bar, it applies a little bit of pressure there and pushes the guitar back to the 0 point. Now what that allows me to do is balance out a little more spring tension with a little more string tension against those, and it kind of makes the 0 point just more stable. Furthermore, if I wanted to, I don't usually use this, but if I wanted to, this guitar actually has this wheel that you can turn right here, and that's their global stabilization, their global tuning wheel. And so a lot of times if you have any experience with floating trim guitars, what happens is the guitar is locked down and it's in tune, and then kind of the whole thing goes out of tune, and it's because of something has shifted in the the neck angle, or not the neck angle, the neck relief or something like that. Something has just shifted just a little bit, but the strings are still locked into the correct pitch, so all you need to do is just the tension. So at that point what you could do is just kind of adjust that wheel one way or the other, and it'll just globally adjust the tremolo, and it'll bring the guitar back in a perfect tune, which is super cool. On top of that, this tremolo seems to actually make the guitar sound better, which is kind of a happy accident. It makes the guitar sustain longer, and there's more harmonic content, and it's louder, and it just resonates through the whole body. It's very loud. Hopefully you can hear how loud that is. It's like as loud as my speaking voice, which for an electric guitar is pretty loud. And it's also, you can't feel it, but the whole guitar is just vibrating. It's very resonant with this tremolo attached to it. Now let's check out some of the sounds that we can get from these Planet Tone Poundcake pickups. These are higher output pickups, not quite as hot as the JB in the bridge, but they're also Alnico 2 magnet pickups, so they're kind of like a little, they're like a really hot-rodded old school pickup. They have kind of a PAF tonality to them, but they're a lot more powerful. And so it's a really unique sound, and it kind of, you could probably guess what it's supposed to sound like based off the name of the pickup. And I think it nails that. Once again, we're going to be using my BluGuitar Amp 1 Iridium Edition, and that is plugged into my Legend Oak 2x12 cabinet that is loaded with Warehouse Lead 80 speakers, and it's mic'd up with a single Shure SM57. First, let's hear a clean tone with some compression coming from my Boss MS3. Now let's check out some mid-gain tones from the vintage mode. Now let's try out some aggressive high gain tones from the modern mode. Finally, let's hear some super saturated lead tones from the classic mode, and I am boosting this with my original Ibanez TS-808 Tube Screamer, and I have some delay from the Boss MS3 in the effects loop. well, there is my finished Charvel Pro-Mod San Dimas project. San Dimas High School football rules! At last, this guitar has become what I envisioned it to be originally. I may put on a couple more gold pieces strictly for aesthetic purposes later. Like, I think it would be kind of neat to put on like a gold nut, not the locks, but just the nut base plate itself, and maybe like some gold tuning buttons or something to kind of go with the whole hybrid aesthetic. But functionally speaking, we are done, baby. Now that we're finished with this project, it's actually time to move on to doing some mods on my bootlegger Royal guitar. More on that later. If you enjoyed this video, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content. Also, I want to give a huge thanks to Planetone Pickups, Sophia Tremolos, and Freeway Switches for making this project possible. And until next time, Wild Stallions!